Alright, so here it is, the Canon 70-200 2.8 IS II USM lens. A lot of people really like this lens and today we will check it out to see if it is actually worth it or not. So let's get started. First, let's check out the switches, and here we have 4 of them. The first one is the focus limiter. Here you can decide if you want to have a focus distance up to 1.2 meters or up to 2.5 meters. This is extremely helpful if you shoot, for example, a sports event and you simply don't want that the lens tries to focus on all the close things around you. The second switch is a typical AF and manual switch, so if you want to set up the focus on your own, you can simply deactivate the AF right here. The third switch is a stabilizer. I don't know anyone who wants to switch this off because it actually helps you to get sharper images all the time, but yeah, there's an option for it right here. And last but not least, here you can switch between 2 modes. The first one is a typical mode that supports you to take sharp images, and the second one helps you to get better panning shots. Of course, the 70-200 got a focus ring on the front that you can use if you want to use the manual focus, and a zoom ring that lets you zoom all the way in from 70-200mm. To mention that here really quickly, if you want to buy a filter for the 70-200, you need a 77mm filter, because yeah, this lens is really that big. On top, if you buy this lens, you get a lens hood, a tripod mount and a small bag, and yeah, basically that's it. If you want to buy this lens used, I highly recommend to check that everything is included, because if you want to sell this lens again later, these accessories can lead to a big price drop if they are missing. So definitely double check your used lens. Next, let's talk about the workflow. The Canon 70-200 is a perfect all-round lens, especially for events, street and portrait photography. This lens is extremely helpful. Of course, I need to mention that this lens is heavy, so over a long period of time you will notice this lens while taking photos, and especially in combination with the EOS R, because the really light EOS R in combination with the adapter and the heavy 70-200 is a setup where you will definitely notice this lens really fast. But in the end, I can absolutely recommend this lens if you don't have enough money to buy the RF version, because it just works perfectly with the EOS R. The focus is always on point, and if you need to be flexible, this lens is the way to go. But if you're into real wildlife photography, this lens might not be the best option. Here I think you need another lens to have better chances to take photos of animals that are far away. But of course there are extenders out there, so maybe give it a try, or if you have a crop sensor, this might be really helpful too. Otherwise, if you like to take photos in a wild park or zoo, I can absolutely recommend this lens. This will help you to get some good shots. Next, let's talk about some test shots, and before we get started, I've already recorded a photography session using the 70-200 and the EOS R, so if you're interested in that, check out the link down in the first comment. But if we take a look at some test shots at 2.8, I can absolutely say that the bokeh of this lens is just awesome. You can see a couple of photos of some animals right now, and it just looks amazing. So if you really like to take photos with a nice bokeh, this lens is actually the way to go. At all kind of other f-stops, the picture quality is absolutely amazing too. But we need to talk about the price too. Currently there's a newer version out there for around $1,600 and the RF version for around $2,600. In most cases, if you simply check used lenses, you'll find prices around $1,000 to $1,200, and I need to say that I don't recommend to pay that much for a used IS II version. I got this lens used for around $700, and I need to mention that I waited a long time until I found the right seller. So if you're looking for the IS II version, I recommend to check all kind of used lenses on the market until there's a good offer for less than $1,000. And yeah, otherwise it might be a good option to get the new version of the 70-200 from Canon. Okay, so now let's wrap it up here really quickly. I need to say that I really like this lens. Next to my RF 35mm 1.8, the 70-200 is now my favorite lens, and yeah, it's just awesome. The overall picture quality is perfect, and especially if you're looking for a lens to get into event, street or portrait photography, this lens is the way to go. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button to stay updated for upcoming videos, and I'll see you in the next video.